This 73 Plymouth Fury hasn't run in 7 years, and we've only got 12 hours to get it ready to go endurance racing.
But the other thing is, we're gonna drive this thing on the street like 300 miles to get to the race. Dude, watch the paint. The story of this 73 Plymouth Fury actually started a full year ago when we prepped it to go race at 24 Hours of Lemons. And we didn't air the episode at the time, but now we've finally come full circle with the Fury, and it was time to show you exactly what happened. I bought this Fury in 2007 or 2008, back when I was working for CarJunkieTV.com, which no longer exists, and for one of our shows, we built the Fury up into a 24 Hours of Lemons racer. Now, the 24 Hours of Lemons is an endurance race where you have to run with cars ostensibly built for $500. And the Fury was completely legit because I bought it from the original owner for $200, and we had a riot at Car Junkie, setting this thing on fire multiple times and hacking it into a race car. At the end of the last Lemons race, we broke an engine mount, which made the engine rock up and the fan go into the radiator. But aside from that, the Fury was pretty much ready to go. The thrash on the Fury was fairly epic because we started on it on Thursday and we needed to be at Desert Center, California at Chuckwalla Raceway the next morning to go through tech and register so that we could race on Saturday.
I installed 2 headlights on the car, made a custom mount for them, had a cheesy angle iron, wiring them up now, even though they're made out of glass and we can't race with them. This is just so I can humor Freiberger and drive this piece of crap all the way to the racetrack. Hey Dave. I know you want to drive there, but there's our street tires. I don't think we're getting there on these.
Does this bother you?
A little bit. You know, got a wife, got a kid, kind of want to see him again.
You just put that on the rear if you're really a wuss. I mean, what's the problem?
What makes you think the rear doesn't look like that? I've only told you about this one.
Oh, nah. Where's your sense of adventure?
Okay, if you're not worried, I'm not worried. The Thursday before the race, we dig the car out of mothballs, and it's a little bit of a mess. Oh yeah. That right there is aluminum paste. May not make it past the first day of racing. We'll change some fluid, beat on it like it owes us money, and pray to God it lasts through the whole race. Because Freiberger was neck deep in work on the magazine, I was left to my own devices inside the shop, trying to put the Fury together by any means necessary, even if that meant robbing parts off of one of his other cars. Somewhere along the line, Freiberger thought I went and got a radiator. I thought he went and got a radiator. We have no radiator. This is David's Buick. I'm taking this radiator. Freshy. The 12 hours leading up to our initial test drive was full of welding, grinding, cutting, wiring. The car needed a ton of work. Ah, right on my shirt, down my back. That burns. Wheels and, we mostly got wheels and tires. Radiator's done. Power steering problem's fixed, just put some fluid in there. That's good.
It's 1 in the morning and we really haven't done everything that needs to happen to the Fury, but I figure there's no reason to go any further if it doesn't run and drive okay. Hoping the transmission works. It's smoking pretty good. My main fear is the transmission. That and I gotta rebuild this carburetor, obviously. It's got no accelerator pump shot. Okay, it goes in gear. The tire rubs. Ooh. It's everything I remember and more.
I wonder if we should have bolted the front wheels on before we tried this. That might have been a good idea. I'd forgotten what a fine race car this thing is. This thing is mint.
Yeah.
If I do a burnout in the company parking lot, I'll get in trouble.
So are we pushing it off a cliff or going racing?
Transmission works. The motor mount is clunky. Brakes work. Goes straight. The big problems are I'm not sure it's charging. We need to put a voltmeter on the battery. And right now it is at 240 degrees. All right, I'm gonna say sleep for a couple hours and get back up. It's 1:30.
I could use food. Do we have beer?
No, that's the problem with this whole program. No beer.
I splashed ATF in my eye last night, and not only is it bright red, but it's like painful. So I'm breaking down and going to the doctor.
I'm gonna steal these wheels off Freiberger's Buick. He's not gonna like this at all. But what the hell, I already stole the radiator out of the car. It's not like he can drive it anywhere.
They told me I'm a moron, but I'm not gonna go blind. I've got drops.
Got to the point where there was no way we were gonna finish this car in time without calling in some reinforcements.
Yeah, you might notice I'm not exactly dressed for working on the car, but they're still here and they're not supposed to be, so all hands on deck.
Jesse's wiring up some electric fans right now that we're gonna hook up a kill switch that kills the power through the whole car. You need that, it's a safety item, need it to pass tech. And then we're out of here, I hope. So I welded in new mounts for a radiator, added 2 bars to the roll cage, welded the base of the roll cage to the floor of the car, but most importantly, I added the donkey to the roof. In episode 2, I went to the Grand Canyon and I bought a donkey, and it rode home on the Ranchero's roof. This is Donkey's last ride. He's leaving my living room, he's going racing right there. The donkey really should have been the good luck that carried us through to the finish line.
Why is the Buick on jack stands?
We needed wheels to go racing, right?
We got the black ones.
Yeah, only 2 of the 4 black ones actually bolt onto the car. Just the fronts.
So you want to use the wheels off the Buick?
Well, they do fit. They do bolt on. The car's not going anywhere anyway because that's where I got the radiator.
You're parting out my junk? Dude.
It's really not very nice junk, to be honest with you. I mean,
this was a perfectly good running, driving, daily driven vehicle.
and now it's a Freiberger vehicle.
And now it's going to sit here for a year and a half.
But you get to go racing. See, racing, look, racing.
We're nearing the end. I just got the seat in and the harnesses. We're going to throw the passenger seat in, swap some tires around, I think, and we're finally ready to hit the road. There's no chance we're going to make it there in time for tech inspection today, so we're just going to roll out there and hope that they take care of us in the morning.
No gas gauge, no volt gauge, no speedo. No problem, let's go.
Go, go, go. You can do it!
There we go.
All right.
That was a good sign.
I feel good about it. Oh!
There we go. Will it do a burnout?
Oh yeah.
Prove it.
Probably not right now.
She's got some sway to her.
It's only got 600 pounds of junk in the trunk.
Sounds like one of my ex-girlfriends.
Of course, prepping the Fury took a full day longer than we thought it was going to, and we hit the road late on Friday night, driving through the night in order to get out to Desert Center in time to sign up for the race at Chuckwalla Raceway.
Saturday morning, we wake up and motor 30 miles from our hotel to Chuckwalla Raceway. We get there just in time to go through the driver's meeting, but well past the time to get the car through tech inspection before the race starts. And the car is literally overheating as we inched our way into the event. And the car failed miserably the tech inspection.
There's gaps everywhere, and then everywhere, okay?
Okay.
So you gotta take care of those. It's gotta be welded all the way around. Fuel leaks, the gasket on your fuel tank is shot.
Our big fail here was that the entire top half of the roll cage was not welded 360 degrees around each bar, which is not legal. They pointed out all the poor welds and gaps in the fitment of the roll cage where it meets the floor of the car, and they just sent us back to our pit to fill all those gaps. We cut 4 holes in the roof of the car, just big enough to get the MIG gun in there so I could weld these bars. I gotta weld some more spots on the cage. We gotta fix the fuel filler neck on the fuel cell because the gasket's dry rotted, so we're probably gonna start an hour late and a lot of laps down. but I don't care. All I care about is finishing. That's all that matters.
We just realized another glaring tech violation. You're supposed to have tow hooks at both ends, and we forgot to do that last night. It wasn't even on the list. So we're gonna have to scrounge something and make some. All right, I feel good about that.
This welder sucks so bad that the booger welds I laid down in there really didn't make this cage safer. They just made the tech inspector happy. Please let us through, Tech. I'm tired of working.
There's Jay, who was the guy who specifically told us he wanted that brace. Probably screwed.
I wonder if he forgot.
Oh, you guys ready?
God, I hope so.
Okay.
We did fix everything you asked us to fix.
It's actually done fairly well.
Yeah, it's like you guys know what you're doing.
Yeah.
We didn't want to fail you twice.
Many do.
That's like getting a GED.
Yeah.
Just enough to graduate.
We got a D- in tech, but that's
Pretty much,
okay.
dude.
We feel good about it. Our goals are, number one, have fun. So far, we've accomplished that. We want to finish, and we want to finish ahead of someone. Oh, and I have to pass somebody too. That would be good. So basically, this is a big game of go-karts.
And by the time Freiberger actually made a lap, we were like 200 laps down from the rest of the field.
Yeah, we're racing.
I see the ass coming down the front straight right now. Looking good, looking sexy, sir.
I have never been on this track before and have no idea where I'm going. I'm getting hit.
Every freak in the world that's into auto racing must be here this weekend. I love them all.
I'm getting passed bad. The handle's horrible.
There's 2 or 3 pizza delivery trucks on the track. I don't think we have to eat PB&J tonight. I think we can get hooked up with, some deep dish. David, can I get a copy, or are you just really focused on trying to catch the Scud missile car?
I copy. Car's running right at 200. I passed the BMW.
Okay, you passed the BMW. What are you going to pass next?
The Fury tends to understeer just a little bit. Uh-oh, it's smoking good. Maybe all the oil is gone. Yeah, it's an oil leak. Finnegan.
Go for Finnegan.
I gotta come in. Temperature is pegged.
It's pegged?
No, it's at like 240.
I'm wondering if I should take a cool down lap or if actually something has gone wrong.
Make a cool down lap, see if it drops. If it doesn't, come in. We don't know if something's wrong. He's gonna slow his pace a little bit, see if it cools off after another lap. If it does it, we'll pull it in the pit and see if maybe we need to apply some Band-Aids to this thing. You have an open track, sir. The Scud missile Miata just pulled off.
It's cooling down.
Then go really fast and don't let that car behind you pass you. And you're fired. How are you gonna get passed by a Cavalier? God help him if he breaks that car before I get to drive it.
I gotta take it real easy and cool it down. It's still at 230. It doesn't want to come down from there. Yeah, it is not getting any cooler. The tension up on 250. I'm bringing it in.
I don't know what we're gonna do. Let it sit, let it cool off, maybe put some more water in it, see if it's leaking anything, and maybe get back out there today.
Oh man, as soon as I pulled in, it went right to 250. Uh-oh. Is there a rule that says you have to have a hood? There is?
Yeah.
How much of a hood?
We take the scoop off.
Right.
Let's take the scoop off. If they say anything, we weld it back on.
Right. All right. The Hemi hood scoop, gone.
Ventilation. I feel good about this plan. Freiberger brought me an overheated race car. We cooled it off, put some water in it, cut a big hole in the hood, made a duct out of some cardboard. Got about 30 minutes left in this session. We'll see how many laps we can get done right here. Hope it starts. Come on, baby. You're gonna need a jump. All right, let's go take Donkey for a ride. I hopped in the Fury and was stoked to finally take this thing around Chuckwalla. I'm going lemons racing, yeah, bitches.
We are already smoking.
I literally got in this car, got 50 feet from the paddock, and it's down on power.
Pull it down into first or second gear. Yeah, it doesn't want to go into second gear, really. I had that problem too because in third it doesn't want to pull. That's why I had it down in first and second.
And the trans isn't shifting, and I'm getting passed. And before I know it, I hear a rod knock, and I'm in the dirt.
What is your status? Are you off the track? Yes, I'm off the track, sitting in the dirt, pissed off. The gauge is at 260 right now. You guys better have ice cold freaking beer waiting for me when I get dragged back into that pit.
After 72 back-breaking hours of me sweating my nuts off with a MIG gun in my hand, this car blows up half a lap into my trip on the track.
Maverick, I want to thank you for an amazing lemons experience. You kill the car, then you give it to me, and it seizes up.
Now you know why this episode has sat for a full year. It was flat out embarrassing. We failed worse than we ever have, and the only thing that's gonna fix my foul mood is the thought of a cold six-pack waiting in the pit. This one's empty. We're gonna need a lot more of these.
The Fury was not going to live to fight another day. We shoved the thing back up onto a trailer and headed for home with our tails between our legs. The Lemons fail was even bad by roadkill standards, and the car sat for the next 8 months. As a matter of fact, you can see it hidden under a tarp in the Jeep Rod episode of Roadkill. But finally, this whole story comes full circle. Back when I picked up the 73 Fury, I also traded a set of cylinder heads for a 68 Charger with no engine in it. And the thing is completely gutted and not a stitch of interior. My plan was to take the drivetrain out of the Fury and put it in the Charger. And finally, we're gonna do that. Now the motor's junk, so that's not going in the Charger, but the truth is we did install that transmission from the Fury, and we didn't remember until we saw this old footage that the transmission is probably junk, and it's installed in the Charger right now. But you know what? That's a story for the next episode of Roadkill. I think I got my $200 worth out of the Fury. We raced it twice at 24 Hours of Lemons, and finally, we've stripped the thing for everything that I need for my 68 Charger project. And so, it's a sad day to part with this thing, but we loaded up the Fury onto this flatbed and sent it to the junkyard.
Everybody's been asking us, where's the 55 Chevy? So on this episode of Roadkill,
We're still not working on it.
just leave like that for a while.
I've been awake 24 hours already.
This 73 Plymouth. This is why it takes 19 hours to install a small block.
I'm guessing we finished somewhere near the back of the pack. I could be wrong.